Hey there, it's CaraNightly, and tonight I have with me something new, something exciting, and that is Doomlings. Doomlings is a delightful card game for the end of the world. And as you all know, I love Magic the Gathering, and while that's not a 100% comparable game to this, they still fall within the card game multiplayer realm, and it is part of the reason why Doomlings reached out to me to offer to send some of their product to me for free to create a video. I'm really excited, and yeah, so let's dive into what we've got here. The first thing is the base game, Doomlings. So that is something that you're going to want to start with. And then we have Doomlings Mystery Expansion, Overlush. This includes 4 mystery packs, which will total 56 cards and 4 hollow foils. And then we also have the Doomlings Imaginary Ends Variety Expansion. And of course, what is one of my videos without some good pack openings? So they kindly sent me some of their gold packs to open, and I'm so excited. These are so tingly, so tingly. So in this video, I'm going to really explore the base game. So if you want to learn more about how to play, what it's about, stay tuned. If you want to watch me open the 4 packs from this set, that'll be in a future video. And the Doomlings Imaginary Ends, along with the gold packs, will also be in a future video. So I'll set those aside for now. So the base game comes in this beautiful box. Let's, as always, flip it to the back side to take a look. It says, somewhere on a doomed and distant planet, life has emerged, competing for dominance until the world's inevitable destruction. Score points by playing traits for your Doomling species, making them more adaptable, resilient, and mischievous. Play traits across multiple rounds, called ages. But be warned, hidden in the ages are catastrophes, special rounds that befall the planet, forcing you to adapt your strategy until the end of the world. Created by Justice and Andrew Meyer, developed with Chris Savella and Eric McCoy. Created in 2020. What a time, what a time. Alright, so inside my Doomlings box, alright, so we're going to take a look inside the box here, walk through the base gameplay and setup for the game. But first off, what is Doomlings? It is a fun light card game for 2 to 6 players. On average, it takes about 20 to 45 minutes. Recommended ages is 10 and up. But you just build your species traits pile, face the end of the world, and try to score the most points before a catastrophe strikes. So, this box comes with a really nice tutorial online. I do recommend watching that. I've watched it myself. But apart from that, if you are a read and go kind of person, there is a really nice how-to guide that comes with the game. And it's really pretty straightforward. I'm going to walk you through the setup and basics on the gameplay and taking a turn. But there's a lot to learn here. Absolutely. I'll set this off to the side in case we need to refer to it, but I think I've got a pretty good idea. Alright, so inside the box, you're going to have a specialized card that you get to pull. I've already opened everything as I've been playing around with the game, but it is a dominant trait, which you can have 2 dominant traits in your trait pile, so we'll get back to that bit later. But then you also have some really helpful, just quick reference guides as to what you do when you play the game, so we'll keep one of these handy too in case we need to refer to it. I'm still new to playing this game myself, but it's a really quick, fun, easy way to have a game night, so I'm really excited to share this with you. Alright, so there are 3 types of cards. We have the gene pool cards, and that would be these colorful cards. These indicate how many cards you may have in your hand while playing the game. We also have the Birth of Life card. This is included in the kind of ages cards. It's its own little card, so I guess maybe there's 4 types, but we have our ages cards, and these help with the turn rounds. They indicate the turn rounds, and so each of them do something a little bit different. So this one says traits in your trait pile cannot be swapped, stolen, or discarded. But then also in the ages cards, we have our catastrophe cards, and those are important for this game. You end up having 3 catastrophes, and that 3rd catastrophe is what ends up ending the game. And each of these do something a little bit different. Usually these cards all indicate something with the gene pool, same with these cards, but the yellow text World's End doesn't happen until you play the 3rd catastrophe, and we'll get to that as we walk through the gameplay. But those are your ages cards. And then the 3rd and final type of card, which is the bulk of the cards, are going to be your traits. So trait cards are what you are playing on your turn. Some of them don't do anything, they just have points at the bottom. Others have action items that when you play the card, you do the action. Others indicate, +1 gene pool, but that only remains in effect so long as this card is in your trait pile. So, again, a lot of variation as to how the game works with these, but these would be the trait cards that go in your hands. So, let's set up the game and we'll just talk a little bit more about how it works. I'm going to set the box off to the side, but I love the box. It even comes with a section here for you to add in additional cards, which Doomlings kindly sent some packs to me to open, as well as some expansion packs, so I'm excited to test those out with the base game here. Alright, so again, to begin the game, to set it up, we need to first set the traits off to the side. We need to take a look at the ages cards. The ages. So we have to separate the catastrophes from the rest of the ages cards. And we want to shuffle these. So we will shuffle these cards up. And then we're going to create 3 piles with 3 ages cards. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then what we do from here is we go to the catastrophes and we shuffle these up. And then we shuffle 1 catastrophe card into each of the 3 piles here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now we set the rest of those ages cards off to the side. We don't need those. And then we need to shuffle each of these individually. So we will shuffle this one up. We need to make sure we don't know where that catastrophe card is. Same with this pile. And the third pile. Okay. Once we have each of those shuffled, we just stack them on top of each other. And then we lay that down on the game board here. We put the Birth of Life card on top because you will always start with the Birth of Life card. And then you will want to select a gene pool card. They just have different colors and variations, so I will select 1. And that'll be my gene pool for the game. And the gene pool always starts off at 5. So I will have it to start there. Once we have all the ages set up, we can deal out the traits cards. Of course, you want to give these a good shuffle. And then the gene pool indicates again how many cards you can have in your hand, and we start off at 5. So I'm going to deal out 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, this game is for 2 to 6 players. I'm just dealing out cards for myself right now so we can kind of walk through this. Oh, I'm sorry. The rest of those cards will actually go right here. So then we have our traits pile, our ages pile, and then I have my hand with 5 cards and my gene pool. So that's all that we need to get started. So then, taking a turn, the round begins with the Birth of Life card. So this would get flipped over. Set your gene pool to 5, play 1 trait each turn, stabilize to end your turn. And stabilizing is drawing or discarding until your hand size equals your gene pool. So you always stabilize at the end of your turn. Okay, so if it were my turn, then I would take a look at the trait cards that I have. Ooh, that's actually a really... So I have 2 dominant cards, and remember at the beginning I said, we're kind of in the middle of this, I said you can have 2 dominant cards in your trait pile. I do like this one, so I'm going to play that. Now, this does not happen right now because there is no catastrophe. But I will leave that there. Dominant cards cannot be traded, stolen. They are there for the rest of the game. So, I have that card. Now, at the end of my turn, I must, again, stabilize. So I need to have a total of 5 cards. So I will draw a trait card. Ooh, another dominant. Now I have to remember I can only have 2 dominant cards in my trait pile. So I'll have to choose which one I would want from here. And I'm not sure yet, so we'll save those. But then we go on, everyone takes their turn. We go on to the next round. And we got an Ages card. If you play an effectless trait, you may play another effectless trait. Ooh, I don't have any effectless traits. Effectless traits won't have anything at the bottom here. So, that doesn't really apply to me. So I'll just play a card. Territorial. All opponents discard 1 red trait from their trait pile. So that means here, someone has to discard a trait from here. And again, dominants are not affected. It would be the end of my turn. I would stabilize again and draw a card. This is an effectless trait, so I could have played this card, but I don't have another one to play anyways, so it really wouldn't have mattered. Anyways, we'll keep flipping. I want to hit a catastrophe. Okay, there we go. Gray goo. So we ignore the yellow text until we get to the 3rd catastrophe. So we just pay attention to the white text plus 0 gene pool, so we do nothing here. Discard your hand and stabilize. But I get to ignore this catastrophe because I have denial, so I don't actually have to do anything. But if I didn't have this card, I would have to discard my hand and draw 5 new cards. Alright. Once you hit the first catastrophe, you move on to the next space here. And this one says you may not play a trait of the same color as the last trait played. Interesting. Okay, so obviously if we had more players here, if someone played a purple, I would not be able to play my purple card. Let's say someone played purple, so I'll play blue. This one has an action, and this one did too. Action, you take action right when you play the card. So this one says swap 1 trait from your trait pile with an opponent's trait of the same color. So if someone else had a blue trait, I would take this, swap it, and then I would have a different blue trait. Cool. And again, we would stabilize. So I would draw another card. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead now that we kind of get the idea of the game until we hit another catastrophe. So we would keep playing these rounds just as so until we hit the catastrophe. So this one's -1 gene pool. So I would take my gene pool and I would switch to 4. Discard 1 card from your hand for every red trait in your trait pile. I have 1, so I'm going to discard one of my cards. I'm going to choose one of my dominants because I can only play 1 more of these. So let me see what we have. +2 for each trait with a negative face value in your trait pile. I don't have any negatives, so that really wouldn't benefit me. At World's End, choose a color. Opponents discard one trait of that color from their trait pile at random. I like that, so I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to discard this one. Okay. And then we took the action, so now we would play the round. I would play a card here. Maybe I'll play my dominant, so now I have 2 dominants down. I would stabilize with the 4 and continue on. So now we're moving on to our potential 3rd catastrophe. And once that catastrophe hits, the game ends. That's the game. We don't take any action. We just take a look at the World's End. And it says, discard 1 green trait from your trait pile. I have no green traits, so I wouldn't need to do anything there. And then we go to the face value traits in the trait pile. So like this one, at World's End, choose a color. Here I would choose a color. And opponents discard 1 trait of that color from their trait pile. So it really would depend on what everyone had. Maybe I would say a blue or a red. Depends on, again, what they have. Again, dominant cards are not impacted by that. But then you would go from there, apply any bonuses that you might have. That would be cards that have like a drop of life on them. And you would add up your score. And whoever has the most points wins the game. So that's really it. It's, I think, pretty straightforward. Really easy to set up once you get going. I like the flow of the game. I like how they've got it set up so there's the 3 different catastrophes. The cards are super fun and engaging. You know, it is a game about the end of the world, but these little characters and these cards are just quaint and perfect for this game. I love it, especially like tentacles. So I can't wait to share the rest of the Doomlings items with you. I will have 2 more videos coming out with pack openings and expansion set openings, so stay tuned for those. And if you are interested in learning more about Doomlings or getting your hands on this game yourself, I will have a link in the description box down below. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful night.